Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and I've got this Zero Hedge article pulled up. Came out today, Wednesday, June the 5th, and it says New York Times confirms first Ukraine strike on Russia with U.S. long-range missiles. And so this is an example of Babylon, which is America, poking the bear, which the bear is Russia. And Russia, within the scriptures, is Gog, and it's also the Medes. And prophetically, Gog, or Russia, launches missiles, ICBMs, nukes onto America and completely destroys America for all of time. It'll be a wasteland and a place, an example of how not to be. America, Babylon, that is. And we're getting closer and closer to that point coming. And this war, World War III, is heating up. And so let's get into this article. It says Ukraine is already attacking Russian territory with U.S. supplied long-range weapons. A fresh New York Times investigation has acknowledged. It comes a mere days after the Biden administration greenlighted Ukraine's request to fire American weapons onto Russian soil. And so the U.S. is behind this attack. They've supplied the weapons, and they've given the orders, or given the okay, the green light, to go ahead and fire onto Russia. And so Russia is going to blame the U.S., and they're just using Ukraine as a proxy. It says Yehor Chernev, the deputy chairman of the Ukrainian Parliament's Committee on National Security, Defense, and Intelligence, said on Tuesday that Ukrainian forces had destroyed Russian missile launchers with a strike in the Belgorod region, about 20 miles into Russia. New York Times wrote, describing it as a first. The Ukraine official said that the army used a U.S.-supplied high-mobility artillery rocket system, or HIMARS. The revelation came the same day that a UK Telegraph report detailed NATO logistics plans for U.S. troop land corridors in the event of a European ground war with Russia. And so they have these spots for U.S. troops to enter into and then to deploy into Russia if a ground war actually happens. And they don't need any of that because this war is going to end up in the Middle East. This is why the Euphrates is currently drying up. It's for the kings of the East to meet. It's for this World War III battle to happen. They know that, and they should really come to terms with the fact that they're at their end, but they won't because they're full of pride. And here's some images of the destruction. It says various social media videos and images appear to show burning and destroyed S-300 and S-400 systems inside Russian territory. Examining some of the new to emerge images, Rob Lee, a senior fellow at the Foreign Policy Research Institute, described to the Times, given the range, type of target, munition availability, and change in the Biden administration's policy, I think it's probable the strike was conducted with HIMARS. And that's what it just told us up there. It says, additionally, the report highlighted other evidence pointing to U.S. munitions used in the attack. On Saturday, Evgeny Podubny, a war correspondent for Russian state television, shared photographs of what were presented as fragments of American guided rockets found in Russian territory. It was not possible to independently verify when or where the fragments were found. And so, I guess they're unsure at the time, but New York Times is saying it was America. It says Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchikov also hinted that the strike was conducted with American weapons. Mr. V shared a picture above of a burning S-300 system on Telegram, but soon after deleted with the caption, "It's burning well. This is a Russian S-300 on Russian territory, the first days after permission to use Western weapons on the enemy's territory." Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov warned earlier this week, "I would like to caution American officials against miscalculations which may have fatal consequences. For some unknown reason, they underestimate the seriousness of the rebuff they may receive." Yeah, because America is full of pride and they don't think that they could be taken down. And they've got NATO backing them up. And as it says, who can make war with the beast? NATO and the EU are the beast, with America riding its back and controlling it. And they really believe that they are in a place where no one can touch them. But the Lord has put his hooks into the jaws of Gog, and he is guiding them to have World War III and to take out Babylon. It says Russian media has meanwhile on Wednesday announced the destruction of more foreign weapons stores inside Ukraine with the below statement. But here's some images of it down here. That's about it to the article. And yeah, the US or Babylon is poking the bear. And this won't end good for them. So this is Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 10. And this is speaking about Gog. It says it right up here in the word, verse 1, we'll start up here. "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog." He's against them because they are Edomites as well, "the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws." So the Lord is in control of them. He's guiding them and steering them into this war. He says, "And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." And the modern day swords go into these tanks and these guns and the artillery and all of the weaponry, everything that can cause hurt in the modern day. But it was called a sword because of the time. But we're going to skip down to 10 because this was really the point that I wanted to go into, but just wanted to show you that this is speaking of Gog or Russia.
Tap the chest, see what you get.
Slovakia. Don't know how that ad came up or why there's ads on the Bible app. But it says, "Thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought." And America instigating and backing up Ukraine and backing up Israel and backing up Taiwan is all correlating or combining into Russia getting really aggressive with the US. All these things, because it's all these little pokes and little pokes and little pokes and some big pokes and smaller pokes, and eventually Russia's just going to have this evil thought, and that evil thought is to push the button to nuke Babylon. And it says, "And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages." And this is speaking of Babylon. This is speaking of America. It's not walled. Trump never got that wall up. It says, "I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. And I think this is a great description of America. Everyone is at rest. Everyone is carrying on like there's like war is not heating up within the world. They're all concerned about which gender they are. All these various distractions that are out here, and not really considering that the Lord is about to come back, that America is about to be destroyed, that famine and plagues and pestilence and various judgments are at the door. They're not considering this. They are at rest, and they're thinking they dwell safely because America's never been struck by an outside nation. That's why it's called the virgin daughter of Babylon, because it's never been penetrated by enemies, but it will be, and it'll be its last hurrah ever. It says to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations. They call this place a melting pot, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. And so he's going to absolutely destroy this place. To take a spoil, spoils go into the treasures or the booty that's gotten at the end of a battle or the end of a war. They're going to have this place. They're going to take it easy. They're going to take Babylon's virginity. And we're going to stop here at Isaiah 13 and 17, because I told you earlier that Russia is represented by Gog of Magog, and it's also called the Medes because they occupy some of the area that the ancient Medes dwelled in or occupied as well. And so verse 17 of Isaiah 13 and verse 17, it says, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So any of these penalties, these not embargoes, I'm forgetting the word, but penalties in place for trade and in place for certain things. Gosh, what is that? Slovakia. But they're not, none of the money is going to be a concern for them. They're not going to be able to pay off Russia to not attack America or to not attack the land of Israel, because they're going to do that as well. All right, I'm just going to move on since I can't think of that word. But it says, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, Russia, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So there's nothing that will be able to stop them. They'll be seeing red at this point. It says, Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. These are talking about the missiles that they're going to shoot. And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. So there's going to be a lot of children and pregnant women here that are going to get absolutely burnt up. It says their eyes shall not spare children. So you're going to have a one-track mind, and that's to rid the earth of Babylon the Great, aka America. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And that Sodom and Gomorrah went out in flames, and America will do likewise. And it was that golden cup in the hand of the Lord, but it was really just set up as an example. And here at 20, he's going to show you that the example. It said, It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. And moving on, it says, But But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. And so Babylon, just like in the movie Planet of the Apes, where they had the Forbidden Zone, that is going to be what Babylon becomes, what America becomes. It's going to be the Forbidden Zone. And just all these unclean animals are going to be dwelling here, and it'll probably grow back much more lush, kind of similar to Chernobyl, but this will be that it'll be off limits to the whole world, and it's going to just be an example of where wickedness dwelt and how not to be. And Russia, with all these pokes that America's giving, it's going to destroy this place. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. Hopefully you can see that we're moving closer and closer to this war. We still have to have the MOTB pushed out first before this goes full blown, but we're getting closer and closer. And so I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.